Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
The August long weekend is approaching, and so is Lloydminster's Heritage Day. Arlene Hofford has more on the events taking place during the annual Heritage Day.
Lloydminster residents interested in taking a trip 100 years into the past can do so by checking out this year's Heritage Day on Monday at Weaver Heritage Park. Heritage Day kicks off in the morning and will last until the late afternoon.
We're going to kick off the day with pancake breakfast. Pancake breakfast goes from 8:30 till 10, and then at 10 o'clock we'll kick off all of the other activities throughout the park for the day. So we've got lots and lots of stuff planned, lots of fun, family-friendly activities for the day, and it's free for everybody to attend. So.
Heritage Day will feature plenty of activities and events that are sure to interest community members. Many old favorites are returning, plus some new ones as well.
You can do some candle making in the log cabin, you can make a craft, we will have wagon rides, petting zoo is always really popular. Last year we brought in the rock climbing wall, so we're going to bring that back, people really enjoyed it. And new this year we're opening up the artifact warehouse.
The whole community is encouraged to come to Heritage Day and learn about the history of Lloydminster, as well as enjoy some food. The event is free for anyone to attend.
Just that it's a free family event for everybody, so we invite everybody to come out and enjoy. There'll be some food trucks there as well, so if you want to come and purchase some lunch from one of the local food trucks, and yeah, just enjoy the day.
Heritage Day is taking place on Monday, August 5th and will last from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Lane Hoffert, Primetime Local News.
The August long weekend is a busy time on highways and lakes in the Lloydminster area. Stacey Comer spoke with the local RCMP, who will be out in full force for the next few days.
Well, it is the last long weekend of summer before kids go back to school, and it's going to be busy. The weather's going to be nice, and that could mean some issues for people on roads and just trying to have a good time. So I'm joined today from the Lloydminster RCMP. Constable Kelsey Davidge is here. Kelsey, thank you for joining me today.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me.
So I'm guessing you guys are expecting to have a busy, long weekend for a number of reasons. And getting into that, let's just talk about road safety. First of all, some people are just excited to get places and might want to get there as quickly as they can. And then there's those who are wanting to have a good time and may have a few drinks and think, oh, it's okay, I just have a short distance. But let's kind of talk about all that and how to keep safe over this long weekend.
For sure, with the sunshine comes celebrations with friends, going camping or spending time at the lake. The Lloydminster RCMP would like to remind everyone on the roadway this long weekend to be safe. One and two things here we're looking for is drinking and driving. You will see increased officers out there doing those roadside stops, doing that MAS, which is that mandatory alcohol screening, a tool used by the RCMP to deter and to detect impaired driving. And you will see officers out there doing speed traps and enforcing those speed limits while heading to wherever you're going.
And I know it's easy for people to think, Kelsey, that, oh, I'm just, have a few blocks to go or, just 10 miles down the road. I've only had a couple drinks, so it's not a big deal. But obviously that's not the case. And if you get stopped at one of these, you could be in for a lot of trouble.
Yes, impaired driving is dangerous and criminal, and it is also preventable. We always want people to plan ahead, whether that be calling a friend or family for a safe ride home, using a rideshare service or a designated driver, or even a taxi, or even on foot if it's a close distance. We also want to remind people that it's important to remember these laws apply to all motorized vehicles, including boats or off-highway vehicles.
Well, and one thing too about boating in the summer is, again, it's a thing where, people are just enjoying themselves and might not think about it. But first of all, as you mentioned, drinking and boating is never a good idea. And then the other thing too is making sure that people have those personal flotation devices because, you guys don't specifically deal with drownings, but oftentimes you are part of the process if a boater goes missing or something like that too. So what should you be reminding people if they're going to be heading out on lakes for this weekend?
Again, follow, someone must have a boater's license, alcohol or no alcohol on the boats, life jackets for all that are aboard. You could always visit our webpage there for Alberta. It shows you all what is needed. in a boat when you're out there, and you will see officers out there. We do have boats that are used for enforcement tools, and you may see members out there on the lakes enforcing those rules and regulations.
And another thing too, just when you leave for the weekend or for a couple of weeks, sometimes it's easy to forget to lock up your valuables, lock your house, that sort of thing. So what's a good mindset to get into before you head out the door to go to your lake or your cabin or wherever you're headed for the weekend or a few weeks?
I know people are in a rush to get going with their long weekend and may forget to lock their homes or vehicles. That is our number one thing, is please make sure your residence or your vehicle is locked before departing for your trip. We always want people to remove all valuables within sight. So please don't leave cash that you can see visible from a window or valuables within your home just kind of out on the counter. If you have an alarm system, please activate it before you are going out, or invite someone to go check on your home while you're away. Make sure that everything's locked up and secure.
All right, Kelsey. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. We appreciate it. And I know that it's a tough job for the RCMP because there are a lot of things to deal with. But the bottom line is everybody just wants to make sure that within the RCMP that people have a safe weekend and that they can enjoy within reason, but obviously make sure that you are following these rules. So, Kelsey, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. And hopefully everybody has a safe, long weekend.
Yes, thank you so much.
And now we're going to have a look at the weather with our Lane Hofford. Lane, it's an exciting weekend. Lots of great events happening here in Lloydminster and throughout all of Alberta and Saskatchewan. How is the weather looking for this weekend?
The weather's looking perfect. This is exactly the kind of weather you want to see on a long weekend like this. Heritage Day's coming up. Going to be a beautiful day Monday for Heritage Day. And today's looking great as well. And as we can see here in Lloydminster, plus 25. We don't have a whole lot of wind. That's always nice. Humidity 27%, so not overly humid. That's nice to see as well. A little bit of clouds, but nothing too crazy. Now in Alberta here, we can see all kind of hovering in the early to mid 20s. Lac La Biche up there's the coolest there at 22. Cold Lake, Bonnyville, St. Paul, Vegreville all at 24 degrees. Edmonton and Marwayne a little bit warmer at 25 degrees. Along with Lloydminster there you can see. Wainwright a little warmer at 27 and Provost at 28 there. Vermilion 23 degrees. Now over in Saskatchewan, let's take a look. Isle La Crosse up there at 22 degrees. We can see it's generally still early, a little higher 20s down south there. Pierceland, Green Lake, St. Walburg, and Meadow Lake, all 24 degrees. Maidstone 26 degrees and Macklin and North Battleford 28 degrees. Tonight North Battleford's going to get down to a nice cool 9 degrees. Partly cloudy, hardly any chance of precipitation, not a lot of wind, maybe just blow around some leaves on the ground. Now tomorrow in North Battleford, going to get to a nice 24, partly sunny, pleasant. Now this is the kind of day you want, especially to kick off a long weekend. 13-kilometer-hour wind, so nothing too crazy there. Let's move over to Cold Lake, 8 degrees tonight, partly cloudy, 9-kilometer-an-hour wind, so again, leaves may be blowing around a little bit. Nice clear, little bit of clouds, but you can see the stars. Now tomorrow in Cold Lake, it's going to get to 21. You can see sunny, going to be a bit cloudy there, so maybe the sun won't be poking through quite as much, but should still get a good amount of sunlight. Now tonight here in Lloydminster, 10 degrees, partly cloudy, but still nothing too major. 11-kilometer-an-hour winds, so generally not a super windy day for any region here. Now let's look at tomorrow's forecast. We're going to start out at 6 a.m., 10 degrees, it'll be cloudy. Going to get up to 19 tomorrow at noon, partly sunny. Going to stay partly sunny at 6 p.m., but it's going to get up to 23. That'll be the high for tomorrow. And tomorrow at midnight, it'll drop down to 15 degrees. Now let's take a look at our 3-day forecast here. Saturday will be partly sunny and delightful with a high at 24, going to drop down to 11. Great way to start off the long weekend. Maybe that's the day you're heading out to the lake. Sunday, of course, you're maybe going to have your campfire that night, your barbecue, high at 23 and a low at 12, partly sunny and comfortable. Monday, maybe you want to check out the Heritage Day. It'll be a nice cool day for that. 18 will be the high and 10 will be the low. That's what we have for our first look at the weather. We'll be back after a break with some more news.
Welcome back. There is an amazing opportunity to do some off-the-grid glamorous camping just outside of Cold Lake. Our Stacy Comer has the details on what 350 Farms has to offer.
I have a special guest joining me today on Primetime Local News. Casey Marshall is here. Casey is the owner of 350 Farms. Casey, thank you for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Casey, you guys have a really unique thing that you guys offer at 350 Farms, and it's glamping. Now, some people might not know exactly what that is. So let's start out by talking about what your definition of glamping is.
Yeah, glamping for us is just a little bit of a elevation of camping. We still want you to feel like you're in nature and that you're being able to relax and disconnect, but we want you to have some more creature comfort. So we offer a couple options of that. One is our geodomes, which are a super cool feature that has skylights and giant panoramic windows. And then we also have canvas Vel tents for someone who wants a little more of a traditional experience. But regardless of which option, they all have, for instance, king beds that everyone just raves about the sleep that they get. They have couches and chairs and places for you to sit, games for you to play. And so it's really a low maintenance, low stress way to go on a small vacation.
And let's talk about where you're located before we get into this any further, because you are really in our neck of the woods.
Yeah, we're located just outside of Cold Lake, about 10 minutes and just south of Ethel Lake. So we have, gosh, there's five to 10 lakes within a 20-30 minute drive of us, and really just in that vicinity where everyone can enjoy.
Well, and one thing that is unique too about your glamping service, because there are lots of these services, or a few that I know of in this area, but you guys offer an all-inclusive service. So tell me about that.
Yeah, our all inclusive is super, it's unique to us here in this location. We basically cook all of the meals as farm to table meals. So we raise our own kuni pork and chickens, and we also have beef that we don't raise, but it either comes from another partner farm or from the 4-H steers that we buy every year to help support the community. And we serve three-course dinners. So that's an appetizer, a main, and a dessert. We do, if you're staying 2 nights or more, we have these gourmet sandwiches that we serve. And then every morning, guests get to choose this really cool between different options of breakfast boards. That could be French toast, pancakes. People love our shakshuka board and different things like this. So everyone gets to really enjoy, and it's super customizable. So it's a little different than a restaurant in that you don't get to order off the menu the night of, but before your stay, we actually send you forms with different choices and you get to pick then. So that way, you guys know what you're getting, and we know how to prepare.
Well, this sounds absolutely amazing. And people can come and just unplug if they want to, but if they want to have a little bit of fun and do some things, you guys also offer events when they're there if they want to take part in them.
Yeah, so everyone has the option to, for instance, do a beer camp, like a beer tasting class. My husband is a Belgian national and has all sorts of degree certificate things in beer and makes his own, does all sorts of fun things. So they can pick that. They can do a wine tasting. They can do a cooking class if they want. That's all upon request, because a lot of people do come and they just want to relax. Like they want to read their book, and the kids go with the grandparents, and they just come to zone out.
Now, also, if you don't want to do the full glamping experience, you can still do some of these events separately, correct?
Yeah, so we have events throughout the year. Up and coming, we have Open Farm Days, which is a province-wide initiative that people open up their farms. We're opened up for a free tour that weekend, and we're doing a collaborative farm to table dinner that has 7 chefs and 5 courses. And it's all farm to table cuisine. We do things like the haunted woods, so people can come, and we actually have, so you kind of got to think of a haunted house, but it's in the woods along a 1 to 2 kilometer trail that has just gone over like gangbusters, and we are super excited to expand that kind of stuff this year. So there's always something to do here. In the fall, we have a slingshot, and you can actually slingshot apples that fall off the trees or pumpkins into the pig pastures. The kids have a lot of fun.
Well, it sounds like really you have something for everybody there. And one thing I'd like to mention too is that it is pet friendly as well. So people can bring their pets, obviously within reason as well.
Yep, they do. We are pet friendly, large and small. Only thing we ask is that you don't leave them alone in the tents unless they're crated, but we love having them here. We even have toys and bowls and all sorts of things for them.
Well, Casey, this just sounds like an amazing experience. And like I said, it's right near Cold Lake. So people from this area or even further can come just to enjoy, as you said, they can just relax or take in some of the events. And if people are looking for information on all of this, Casey, where is the best place to find that?
Yeah, so we have a website that is www.350farms.ca, or on social media, if you give us a look at Instagram or Facebook at 350 Farms, they'd be able to find and connect with us there.
All right, Casey. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And let's chat again, especially when we're talking about that haunted woods. It sounds really, really awesome heading closer to the fall. So thanks for
Yeah.
joining me. And I look forward to speaking with you again.
Well, thank you.
And now here are your agriculture prices for today. The Lloydminster Bobcats are preparing for the upcoming hockey season. With 1 month to go, the Bobcats have a few interesting events coming up, as well as preparations for events in the winter. Today I'm joined by Nigel Dubé, the general manager of the Lloydminster Bobcats, and he's here today to talk about some off-season things that the Bobcats are doing. And so thank you so much for joining me today, Nigel.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
And so we'll start with Sheldon Goritson, who is going to be coaching at the U18 Women's Championships coming up. How cool is it that Sheldon Goritson is going to be coaching at that national level, and a little bit about him and what he's done for the Bobcats organization?
Yeah, we're super excited for him, super proud of him. I think for him, he's going to enter his sixth season with us here in Lloydminster, and for him to be at that national scale with the women's program, consecutively here, each what seems like each and every off season, he's able to build that profile up with them and continue to work with Hockey Canada. So it speaks volumes to what he's able to do. I think it speaks volumes to his character as a coach, as well as his ability to help goaltenders move on, and even at the national level, like he will there. It's big, and we're super excited for him, and looking forward to watching him succeed at it.
And the Bobcats have announced the dates for the Daddy-Daughter Dance and the Ladies' Night for the upcoming season. Talk to me a little bit about those two events, especially the Daddy-Daughter Dance, with it being now in its second year after the inaugural year last year.
Yeah, it was a great just to see the event come together last year, and for the first time, and a different, just a different event for the city. And it wasn't so much just for the hockey side of it. It was an opportunity for us, for our players to be involved, and to offer something other to our community of Lloydminster. And it was a great crowd. We're looking forward to it again this year on November 30th, and tickets will be going on sale soon here. But we learned some things from it, and we'll add more to it this year to even make it a better event for those that come to it. Last year, it was a sellout, and it was just a great night. I think a lot of fun for everybody, top notch entertainment. And this year, it's going to be February 7th, and we're looking forward to it again. A great evening out, as well as the entertainment, which will be announced later in the fall. It should be a spectacular event again, and more so those that want to get tickets have the opportunity, coming up again in the fall here, to purchase tickets ahead of time. And we look forward to hopefully selling out once again this winter with it.
Bobcats are offering prep for tryouts for U15 to U18 athletes. Talk to me a little bit about this opportunity and why the Bobcats are offering this for people of Lloydminster.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy couple weeks coming up. We start with our hockey school August 12th. We have 2 weeks of hockey school, and we also have a week of goalie school with Sheldon Gertson, which is awesome for the goalies. And then it's one of those where our hockey school goes from U5 to U13, and we want to be able to offer something else to the community for those older athletes. And each year we try to evolve and expand. And this year we'll be offering kind of a prep for tryouts of U15 to U18 at every level, and just an opportunity for them to get back on the ice if they haven't been. If they have been, to continue to hone on their skills and prepare for the upcoming fall season. And just like I said, it's one of those, we're a community based organization. organization, and we want to make sure we offer everything we can to the community.
Thank you so much for all the information today, Nigel, and we look forward to all of these events as well as the upcoming start of the season in September.
You bet. Thanks so much for having me.
St. Walburg is hosting their annual Blueberry Festival this August 10th. Our Callan Dunlop has more on this delicious event.
Today I'm joined by Bobby Domes, who is one of the organizers for the upcoming annual St. Walburg Blueberry Festival. And to start, Bobby, can you talk to me a little bit about when this is going on and what it is for those unaware?
It's an annual event here in St. Walburg. It's always the fourth Saturday of August every year. This year it's August 24th. We block off a few streets downtown, our main street and a few other streets. And we have 135 vendors, which sell everything from homemade crafts to Tupperware, spices, clothing, anything, pretty much you name it, we have it here. On top of the vendors, we also have food vendors. We have about 10 trucks registered this year, so we have all sorts of different food vendors and trucks coming, everything from drinks to burgers to different cuisines, I guess. We also have a car show that takes place on Saturday as well. Everything begins at 9 a.m. and runs till 4 p.m. We made a few changes this year, and we moved the car show to the north end of the street to allow for more vendors because we've had such a great response to people applying this year. And that's basically our Saturday event. On Friday night, we also have a supper at the Parish Hall, just at the north end of Main Street, which we have a jam session after the supper that evening till around midnight or so, and then people can come in, and there's no admission to the dance, so that's free, and people can just come in and enjoy and have a good time.
And how long has this event been going on?
In about 35 years we've held the event for. We're doing it, it's always been annually. We had a few years break with COVID, but we came back strong in 2022. We've been gaining ground ever since. Basically started out as just a small street vendor show on our main street, and it's expanded ever since its inception to take in the full Main Street block to the west and then another block to the south.
I'd like to hear what your favorite part of the Blueberry Festival is.
I like just taking in attendance that day and just being there talking to the people. We have a gazebo on Main Street where a few of us organizers are at throughout the day for people to ask questions and get information. And it's always nice to have people come in and say hello and talk about their experience at the Blueberry Fest in this year and years past. And quite a few people actually use it as sort of like a homecoming or get together with friends and family every year.
Were there any last things that you'd like to add?
It's a great event for St. Walburg. Our population's around 800, and that day we see about roughly 5,000 people pass through town from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. So it's a pretty busy day. We also do have some entertainment on Main Street as well. So we have local entertainers that come out and sing from, I believe this year is 11 till 4. And that's just free on the street. There's just chairs set up and you can sit down and enjoy some entertainment and have a visit and take in all the sights and things that are happening downtown that day, and maybe make a few purchases, or some people do their Christmas shopping. And we have people come all the way from BC to Ontario, and there's actually been people come from across the pond in the UK and stuff, have been here before in New Zealand.
Well, that covers all of my questions. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk about this, Bobby.
And now we'll take a look at your cute pet pictures in our Pet Pad Picks of the Day.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to have them featured on Pet of the Day.
Welcome back. The Lloydminster and Vermilion for Equity Foundation is gearing up for the Fall Festival in Vermilion in September. Leanne Sanders spoke to organizers about their call for performers and vendors.
I am here today with Lloydminster and Vermilion Equity, and we're talking about the Fall Festival that's coming up, a special fundraiser for you guys. Brittany, what can you tell me about the festival? Is this the first year for it, or have you guys done this before?
We have done this before. We are renaming it to Fall Fest. It was previously Vermilion Culture Fest. This is the third year, and it's in Vermilion, September 21st and 22nd. We are looking for vendors, food truck, and performers. And we're trying to showcase a variety of cultures from the Lakeland region.
Excellent. So I guess mainly this would be a fundraiser or just like a cultural, trying to get the word out kind of thing, or create a sense of community. What's the main purpose for it?
Yeah, to create a sense of community and to showcase the cultures that are around in the region.
Okay. Amber, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say that we do get a little bit of grant funding, and we use that to get as many culturally diverse groups to come as possible, and just to celebrate it, as well as some things will bring in some money, but mostly it is a free event for the public.
Okay, excellent. I know that there are a few trucks around, food trucks around in Lloydminster, and also other places I've heard as well, but I've only been to one. So how many food trucks do you guys usually get at the festival?
We've had 3, 4, and then also food trucks, and then also food vendors. So we've had a few more. And yeah, we're always looking for more. With the food and vendors, they can be from anywhere. And then performers, with just how our grant works, it has to be Alberta only.
Okay, so local performers, any particular skills or talents that they may have? Is there any type of thing you're looking for? Like, do they have to be singers, musicians?
Pretty much anything. That's well, it could be any kind of performance. We were actually kind of interested in even stand-up comedy. Yeah, anything that people want to showcase. Yeah, and whatever, as long as they're from Alberta. Yeah.
All right. So again, if you could just maybe go over again the dates and where it's happening.
Yeah, so it's September 21st and 22nd in Vermilion at the Vermilion Arena Rink.
The Vermilion Curling Rink, I believe.
Correct.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you again, ladies, for taking the time today to speak with me and shed some light on your events. And I hope you have a great day.
It's a busy long weekend in the Lloydminster area, and our Heather Clagus has all the details on what's planned in this week's edition of What's Happening.
Coming up this weekend, it is Haying in the 30s in Mallaig. It's an opportunity to travel back in time, tour a heritage village, and help out people in the community. Things get underway tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. That's when they're going to have their opening ceremonies. A parade will follow that. And then starting at 11, you've got an opportunity to take in different demonstrations. And they've also got so many different attractions to see as well. You can tour the heritage village. There's going to be horse-drawn equipment demos, a chance to take a horse-drawn wagon ride, see how rope was made. There's kid games that are going to be set up. They have live music throughout the weekend as well. And the activities will continue on Sunday too. But it's on Saturday night at 9 o'clock that they're hosting an old-fashioned hoedown. For all the details on this event, you can go online to hayinginthe30s.com, and 100% of funds raised at this event go to those undergoing treatment for cancer. So head online for all the details and head out to Haying in the 30s this weekend. Coming up on Monday, you can celebrate Heritage Day right here in Lloydminster at Weaver Heritage Park. They're going to start the day with a free pancake breakfast. They'll be serving up pancakes starting at 8:30 a.m. on Monday, and then starting at 10 a.m., that's when the free family activities get underway. And they've got so much fun planned for you and your family. It includes a petting zoo. There's going to be different heritage demonstrations, a chance to make a craft. You can check out the classic car displays, take a look at the antique tractors, live entertainment throughout the day from the Prairie Dogs, and so much more. Plus, at 2 o'clock, they have their antique tractor parade. There's lots of great activities that are going to be taking place here at Weaver Heritage Park on Monday. For all the details, head online, lloydminster.ca/Heritage Day. And coming up on Tuesday, Shine Lloydminster is hosting Art in the Park. It's taking place at Bud Miller Park. You and your family are invited to drop in anytime between 10 and 2 to create a work of art. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Coming up after the break, we will have an extended look at weather with Arlene Hoffert.
Look at some more weather here. Starting in Lloydminster, 24 degrees. As you can see, there's a few clouds. Winds are blowing at 20 kilometers an hour, so about as fast as it would be if you were riding on your quad. 27% humidity, so not overly humid, not too bad. Now let's look in northern Alberta here. Jasper's the warmest here, 29 degrees. Whitecourt, Edmonton, and Rocky Mountain House all sitting at 24, along with Cold Lake and, of course, Lloydminster. Athabasca, 22 degrees, and Red Deer at 25 degrees, sorry. Now we're going to look over at the Saskatchewan side here. Meadow Lake at 24 degrees, Prince Albert at 27 degrees, Melfort at 25 degrees, and Saskatoon and North Battleford there, both at 28 degrees. Now let's take a look up in northern Saskatchewan. Uranium City and Wollaston Lake at a cool 17 degrees. Stony Rapids and South End Reindeer at 18 degrees. Lolosh and Buffalo Narrows at 22 and Flin Flon 25 degrees. Over in Alberta here, as we can see, mostly in the 20s. Fort Chipewyan 19 degrees, but then Peace River and Slave Lake at 21 degrees. High Level and Grand Prairie at 24 and Fort McMurray at 23. We now travel down to southern Alberta. We got Coronation, Calgary, and Banff all at 28 degrees. Now we're getting into some 30s territory here. Lethbridge at 30 degrees and Medicine Hat at a warm 34 degrees. Now over in Saskatchewan here, Kindersley at 29 degrees. And now here's where things are really getting hot here. Yorkton at 30 degrees, Swift Current 32, Estevan at 34, Regina at a warm 37 degrees, Moose Jaw's touching 40 at 38 degrees. Now tonight in North Battleford, it's going to cool down to a 9 degrees there. Partly cloudy, but nothing too crazy. Low winds there, 11 kilometers an hour. So if you're in North Battleford, you don't got to worry about blowing away. It's going to be just a nice, cool night. Great for a walk, maybe. Now tonight in Cold Lake, it's going to be 8 degrees. Partly cloudy again, but nothing too crazy. The wind's going to be a little bit slower in Cold Lake. It'll be nice and cool. Now tonight in Lloydminster, 10 degrees, partly cloudy, with some 11 kilometer an hour winds. Now let's take a look at some other temperatures throughout the region. Meadow Lake will be 23 degrees and cloudy. Only 9% chance of rain, but the clouds will look like maybe a little more. Bonnyville, 60% chance of rain, 22 degrees, couple of afternoon showers. Provost, 26 degrees, it'll be nice out with some sun. Isla Cross, 24 degrees, nice with some clouds and sun. And Paradise Hill, 22 degrees and partly sunny. Some more temperatures throughout the region. Murnum and Pierceland, both 22 degrees. Murnum, 80% chance of rain. Unity, 25 degrees along with Wainwright, but Wainwright an 84% chance of rain. And Calgary, 27 degrees, partial sunshine, 25% chance of rain. Now let's take a look at the 7-day forecast in Lloydminster. Now the long weekend is looking nice and warm for the first half. It's going to cool down progressively there. Saturday it's going to start out partly sunny and delightful. 24 is the high, 10 is the low. Sunday 23 is the high and 12 is the low. Monday 19 is the high and 10 is the low. And we're hovering around those temperatures for the rest of the week.
Well, it certainly is going to be a very exciting weekend here as we get into the August long weekend. Thank you all so much for joining us here on Primetime Local News. For Lane Hofford and the rest of the crew here, my name is Thomas Wildman. Have a great rest of your day.